Hi friends, in this video we are going to learn about transaction and its properties and steps to be followed. Okay, transaction is treated as a single unit. It ensures that either all of them succeed or none of them. It is, I can say, if one of the command in the transaction fails, all of the command fails, and any data that modify in the database is rolled back. If in this way, transaction maintain the integrity of data in database. Okay, here it is treated as a single unit. It ensures that all the commands succeed or none of them. Okay, if one of the command in transaction is fail, all the transactions are fail, or all the commands fail, and any data is modified in the database is rollback. In this way, the transaction maintain integrity of database. Here, these are the properties. Atomicity. Entire transaction take place at once. Does not happen at all. Entire transaction take place at once or does not happen at all. Consistency. Database must be consistent before and after the transaction. Means, okay, data must be integrity of constant must be there before and after the transaction take place. Isolation. Multiple transactions happen independently without interfering with one another. The immediate state of a transaction is invisible to other transaction. Means multiple transaction happens independently without interfering others. Okay, durability. Once a transaction happen, the changes stay there even if a system failure occur afterwards. Transaction processing steps. Here you can see: begin a transaction, process database command, check for errors. If any error occur, roll back the transaction. Rollback is nothing but undo it, else commit is nothing but save the transaction. Okay, once again here, okay, transaction is a single unit, treated as a single unit. It ensures that either all of the command or transaction succeed or none of them. If one of the command in the transaction fails, all the command fails, and any data that was modified in the database is rollback. In this way, transaction maintain the integrity of data in database. Properties of transaction. Atomicity. Entire transaction take place at once or doesn't happen at all. Consistency. Database must be consistent before and after the transaction. Isolation. Multiple transactions happen independently without interfering with. And durability. Once a transaction has happened, the changes stay even there if a system failure. And durability, I told here, once a transaction has happened, the changes stay even if a system failure occurs. Transaction processing steps. Begin a transaction, process database like insert, update, or any deletion, check for error if any is there, roll back, or else commit it, save it. Okay, these are the few steps I can say in for transaction processing. It is treated as a single unit. It ensures that all the transaction should be succeeded or none of them. Properties of transaction. Atomicity. Entire transaction take place at once or does not happen at all. Consistency. Database must be consistent before and after the transaction take place. Means the integrity of constant must be maintained before and after the transaction takes place. Isolation. Multiple transactions happen independently without interfering with other. And the fourth one is durability. Once a transaction has happened, the changes stay there even if a system failure occurred. Okay, these are the four steps. And steps, these are the four properties, and the steps are like beginning a transaction, process database, check for error, if any error occur, roll back the transaction, else commit the transaction. Okay guys, one thing I can tell you, if you are going for interview, okay, just ask to interviewer like what exactly the position is, what is the role. Definitely you will get the JD. Okay, in JD there are so many things will be there which is actually not there for the job requirement. Okay, just ask whether I have to, there is a opportunity for SQL or for Power BI, or for is there any partial requirement for SQL and Power BI or advanced Excel or VBA or Access or Tableau. Just clear it. Okay, if you ask these things, will be helpful for you. Okay, based on that you can prepare. Okay, if there is a SQL developer interview is there, you are going preparing much, you can prepare on SQL. Okay, if there is, you can clearly tell that I more work on SQL, I work on Power BI but not comparatively SQL. Okay, and they will ask you regarding difference between function and store procedure. I think this is the must question. Okay, this will ask you, and difference between primary key and unique key, and what is index. Okay, what is magic table. Okay, magic tables are created inside trigger to perform DML operation, and magic table does not have physical existence. This thing you have to do. What is a heap table? This will also. Okay, heap table is also a special kind of table. Okay, which does not have cluster index defined on it. Okay, non-cluster index is created on heap table. You can see. They will ask you difference between why we create index. Okay, index are created for better performance. Okay, and you can say that both cluster and non-cluster index have B tree. Okay, cluster index leave tree point towards direct data, towards actual data, whereas non-cluster index take the help of cluster index to point towards the actual data. Okay, when we create primary key, it will automatically create cluster index. When we create unique key, it will automatically create not cluster index. Okay, index can be created on table and view. This will ask you in an interview. Okay, and store procedure. Store procedure, you can tell it's nothing but or nothing more than. Okay, store procedure is nothing more than a prepared code. Instead of writing query again and again, just write the code once. You can execute it whenever you require. Okay, they will ask you about the parameters. There are input parameter, output parameter, and optional parameter. Okay, these are the things which will be asked you, and they will ask you about views. Okay, what is view? View is nothing but a virtual table. It does not have physical exist. Okay, and in view you can tell that we cannot use group by, having, or subquery or distinct clause. These are the things which will not be there. If you want to update a view, if it's based on multiple table, what you have to do with the help of, instead of trigger, you can do it. And trigger function. Function, what is a function? Function is a subset. Function is a subset, or function is a sub-statement to perform certain, or you can tell function is a group of statement to perform certain task. It accepts input parameter and return value. like scale the value you can. And function is also three type. Okay, scalar, inline, or multiple line break. Okay, and they will ask you about merge statement. What is a merge statement? In merge statement, we perform DML operation in single statement. We can do merge statement on two tables, and they will ask you what is CTE. CTE is nothing but is CTE is a created. CTE is nothing a result set created temporarily. CTE is created on result set temporarily, and they will ask you what is recursive CTE. It refer to CTE. Okay, recursive CTE. It's referred to CTE is called as recursive CTE. And what is a cursor? Okay, cursor is a database object used to retrieve the data from result set one row at a time. Cursor is a database object used to retrieve the data from result set one row at a time. Cursor is used when the data need to be updated. Okay, this will ask you in an interview as well. What is a cursor? Cursor is a database object used to retrieve the data one row at a time. Cursor is used when the data need to be updated row by row. Okay, they will ask you the life cycle of cursor. First, you have to declare the cursor, then opening cursor, then fetching, then closing, then deallocating cursor. These are the 5 things you have to do. And they will ask you about we have discussed transaction and deadlock. Okay, what are the types? And this one, rank and dense rank window function, they will ask you. Okay, and they will ask you regarding derived table. Okay, and what they will ask you, why SQL is useful. You can tell in SQL we can have some millions of data. Okay, and they will ask you, instead of using primary key and foreign key, how you can put or alternate for primary key and foreign. You can tell the inner join. Okay, with the help of join also you can pull the data. Like one table will be your primary and another will be your foreign key. Like on basis you can get the data from it. And there are default join is left join or left outer join you can call. And cross join, what we will do, like m into n function. One row from each table will multiply with other row of all the tables, like 1 into first row, second row, so on rows. Second row of one table will multiply like first, second, third, and so on with other tables. So on process. You can say m into n process. Okay. They will ask you regarding subquery. Subquery is nothing but query within query is called subquery. Okay. And correlated subquery. Okay. Correlated subquery depend on the outer query for its value. That's why we call this one as correlated query. Okay. And I think these are the things. And they will ask you regarding in Power BI what is merge. Okay, and what is difference between append and merge. Okay, in append we can append more than 2 tables, but merge we can do only 2 tables. We can merge 2 tables. And what is different between sum and sumx in DAX? They will ask you what is the conditional formatting you have done. What is this grouping? They will ask you in Power Query. And in Power Pivot they will ask you what are the dashboards or reports you have created. Okay. what is slicer, what is synergized slicer. These are the things which will be asked you in interview. Just be prepared. And in advanced Excel they will ask you VLOOKUP, index match, count ifs, sum ifs, and this conditional formatting in advanced Excel. And for VBA definitely they will ask you looping, for loop, while loop. Okay, and nowadays XLOOKUP is also there, but I can honestly tell you I never use this XLOOKUP. HLOOKUP in practical I never use, because I'm playing with I can say 1,40,000, 36 or 40,000 data daily basis, but I never got an opportunity to work on XLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. I work like index match, and I can say this VLOOKUP and this pivot tables or dashboard. These are the basic thing for basic advanced things for a guy to prepare reports. And the text function will be there for interview, they will ask you. And these are the things which will be asked you in interview. Be confident whatever the answer you are giving. Okay, sure or confident, I can tell you, will be helpful for you to crack the interview. And I can say for and you can tell on this as well. What we will call this? Guys, one thing I can tell you, if you like the video, click on like, share and subscribe. Thanks for your support. Have a wonderful day ahead.